Okay, Drew, we're ready to get started.
Thank you, Michelle. Welcome to the launch of Governor Gordon's Wyoming Grants Management Initiative. We are so excited to have you all here today. I am Drew Palmer. I'm the Grants Integration Manager in the Governor's Office. Before we get started, I just have a few housekeeping items, which include this presentation is being recorded. Please keep your devices muted unless you are speaking. There will be time at the end of the presentation for questions. You are welcome to put questions in the chat, or please raise your hand and we can call on you. We would appreciate it if you would turn your camera on to speak. And we will be posting the recording and the slide deck on our website at the end of this program. So let's get started. Our team is excited to be presenting to you today a new program that has never been implemented. But we heard you loud and clear. The need for additional resources and capacity to take advantage of federal and state funding opportunities must be a priority. Our team has worked tirelessly for the last 90 days to stand up this customized program, so it is our hope that by the end of this presentation, you will see the value in what we're trying to offer. Let's begin with a couple introductions. I want to introduce Christine Imminger, Administrator for the Grants Management Office, Diana Cabrales, the Grants Management Deputy Administrator, Peyton McIntyre Larimer, the Senior Budget Analyst, and Ben Hecker, who is the Project Manager for our third-party consultant, Haggerty Consulting. My role as the Grants Integration Manager is to assist the State Budget Department in standing up the Grants Management Office, which will be housed in the State Budget Department. The Grants Management Office is being put into place to assist state agencies, local communities, nonprofits, and small businesses to build capacity over time and provide additional resources to apply for federal and state grants. It is the expectation that this effort will assist in laying the foundation for a viable solution in meeting the technical assistance and resource needs of our communities long-term. The overarching goal of the Grants Management Initiative is to create a one-stop shop for resources related to federal and state grant opportunities and to work to identify stacking and braiding options, including IRA or other tax credit programs and direct pay for those entities that qualify, which will benefit our state and local communities. To accomplish this goal, we've hired a third-party contractor, Haggerty Consulting, to assist us with developing a customized grant tool, which will be referred to in this presentation as the Wyoming Grants Connect Hub. There will be 4 phases. Phase 1, we focused on Infrastructure and Investment Jobs Act and Inflation Reduction Act funding opportunities, mainly because they have a shelf life. Phase 2 will be state funding opportunities, and 3 and 4, we will be looking at nonprofit and private sector opportunities. These will all be ongoing, and so we will keep a running, a current, updated format in the dashboard. You will also hear today about the Wyoming Grants Assistance Program, WYGAP. We will be talking about the ability to be able to provide you with coordination and technical assistance for state agencies and local communities. And that includes, but is not limited to, grant writing, grant reviewing, tracking, monitoring, reporting, if awarded. We will also provide training and support services. So we have a lot to tell you today. We're excited about all of it. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So Christine, I'm going to turn it over to you with the State Budget Department to lead us off.
Thank you so much, Drew. We are very excited to be here today. You might have heard Drew mention that we have been working on providing these services and standing them up the past 90 days. Real quickly, we're going to throw a poll up on the screen. How many of you were with us during our soft launch or attended the 2024 Wyoming Funding Summit that was held in Riverton? We're going to have a few moments for everyone to answer. Thank you very much. It looks like we have a great turnout today, and thank you very much for that poll. Next slide, please. Today's webinar, we're going to have a short agenda, but it is jam-packed. We're going to introduce the Grants Management Office, provide an overview of the Wyoming Grant Assistance Program. We're also going to give a live demonstration of the Wyoming Grants Connect Hub, and we've also left some time open for a quick Q&A with our team. Next slide, please. You have heard the governor say that it is a very transformational time here in Wyoming, and we are here to present today the Wyoming Grants Management Office. We have been tasked by the governor to stand this up within the state budget department, and we are here to facilitate this transformational area in Wyoming. Next slide, please. The Wyoming Grants Management Initiative is a top priority for Governor Gordon. He has dedicated significant time, resources, and efforts towards the success of this launch. The Grants Management Office works with the Governor's Office to lead up this initiative. Our sole purpose is to assist our state and local governments to identify and secure funding under the Infrastructure Investment Job Act, the Inflation Reduction Act, the CHIPS and Science Act, and any other funding opportunities that may become available. Next slide, please. On the screen, you will see the organizational chart for the Wyoming Grants Management Initiative. We work in tandem with the Governor's Office, Drew Palmer, but this initiative supports many stakeholders. We support our local governments. We support tribal governments and organizations, small businesses, nonprofits, even our own state agencies and our Grants Corps Working Group, as well as the Wyoming IWG, which we will touch on shortly in this presentation. Next slide, please. The Wyoming Grants Management Office is housed within the State Budget Department, and we are designed to increase Wyoming's access to federal funding. We want to build grants management capacity across our state and local governments. We want to increase the transparency within our state and federal grant programs, and we have developed a tool called the Wyoming Grants Connect Hub to assist users with identifying these federal and state funding opportunities. We want to make sure that we identify the needs of our state agencies and our local governments and help support them in meeting those identified needs with available federal fund sources. The long-term goal is to build the skills, the knowledge, the abilities surrounding grants management within the boundaries of Wyoming so that we have a framework to rely on that we can easily apply to the next grant that becomes available. Next slide, please. The Wyoming Grants Management Office goals are very simple. Number one, we want to identify and pursue federal resources to help support Wyoming's priorities, any of our local communities' needs. Number two is we want to provide technical assistance when it comes to those opportunities. And we want to provide assistance across the state to support the full range of activities associated with the grants management lifecycle. Last but not leastly, we want to build a lasting capacity plan to pursue these federal opportunities, execute them, and manage the grants that we secure. Next slide, please. We have some key activities to support those goals, one of them being the Wyoming Grants Connect Hub, which we will go in depth into later in this presentation. The Wyoming Grants Connect Hub is intended to provide users with a centralized, transparent tool to easily identify grant funding opportunities, whether that you can apply for them directly to the federal government or if you would apply to them through our state departments. Our other key activity is to help support our state agencies in getting and dispersing these dollars. You heard Drew Palmer state that there is a shelf life on some of these dollars. Our goal is to help streamline the disbursement of those dollars so that you have time to spend them within the period of performance. Lastly, we want to make sure that we support our local communities. The Wyoming Grant Assistance Program has been designed to provide technical assistance to identify, pursue, and manage grants that support local priorities, as well as provide trainings and webinars. Next slide, please. How will our grants management office benefit our constituents of Wyoming? First, we're increasing federal fund resources. We're making sure that the opportunities are available and transparent to everyone in Wyoming through our Grants Connect hub. We want to make sure that we additionally reduce effort for the grant programs that we have now. We don't want this to burden anyone. We don't want to force somebody's hand into a grant opportunity. We are only here to assist, and we want to make sure that the assistance is casting a wide net, but we also want to be that safety net for these individuals that need this assistance. We also are going to support federal grant administration. We want to provide the support, services, resources throughout the entirety of the grants management lifecycle. We all know that writing that grant is only about 10% of the work. Lastly, we want to make sure that we enhance our coordination and communication, not only between our state agencies, but to our local governments, to our stakeholders that are in our small businesses and nonprofits, the voices of our community leaders as well. Next slide, please. We are going to be supporting Wyoming through 4 different component areas. First, we're going to be conducting a needs assessment. That will be at our state and local government level. Once we have that needs assessment finalized, we will identify funding opportunities to meet those strategic priorities, the needs in your community, the needs at our state departments. And once those funding opportunities have been identified, we will help you grant write and develop an eligible, competitive application for submission. And once you are able to secure those dollars, and if you are awarded, we will help assist you with the grant management of those dollars. You have access to best practice expertise, policy analysis, and coordination across and through the grant management lifecycle, from cradle to grave, from the point where you identify and apply for those dollars to the time that you close them out and there is an audit. Next slide, please. We briefly mentioned the Wyoming IWG. This has been a transformational time, and the Wyoming IWG meets bi-weekly. We have a host of federal partners, state agencies, tribal governments, local governments, nonprofits, and even the private sector. Our federal partners come in and they help us identify the items that may not be available yet on grants.gov, but that we should keep our eyes open for. We should develop our responses to help support our applications for those opportunities. We have the Department of Energy, the Department of Transportation, the Department of Labor to be here and support Wyoming's needs. We also have our state agencies, the State Budget Department, the Wyoming Energy Authority, even the Business Council and the University of Wyoming. We are here to bring success stories to Wyoming. This was first established back in November of 2021 through Drew Palmer's work. It has now expanded the scope, and we are now inclusive of all and any opportunities that may be available for the state of Wyoming. If you are interested in being included in those meetings, please send an email to our sbd-grants@wyo.gov email address to be put on the attendance list. We are more than willing to open this up to any and all parties. Next slide, please. I would now like to introduce you to our Deputy Administrator for the Grants Management Office, Diana Cabrialis, who will speak more about the Wyoming Grant Assistance Program that we have developed.
Good morning. I want to thank you all for taking the time to be here with us, and I'm very excited to speak more in detail about this Wyoming Grant Assistance Program, WYGAP. Next slide, please. So the Wyoming Grant Assistance Program, what is WYGAP? WYGAP is a program that's going to be providing technical assistance to our local communities across Wyoming to identify, pursue, and manage grants that support our Wyoming local priorities. What are the objectives of this technical assistance program? They are to provide support to local communities in overcoming the grant capacity barriers that they are facing on a daily basis. To build lasting local capacity to pursue and secure federal and state grant funding. To build lasting local capacity to implement these grant programs and stay in compliance with federal regulations like 2 CFR 200. And also to support local governments to increase the competitiveness for federal funding opportunities. Next slide, please. Who does YGAP serve? So YGAP serves the constituents of Wyoming. How? By providing technical assistance and grant management support to Wyoming state agencies, local governments, tribal governments and organizations, nonprofits, and small businesses. Next slide, please. These are all of the resources and services that we have spent the last 90 days working on, and they are available as of July 8th. These are free of charge services that we are offering. Let me reiterate that. These are services provided to you for free. One of the many services we'll be providing are trainings, webinars, and office hours. The trainings and webinars may range from different topics, anywhere from grant writing, grant management, and needs identification, among others. The office hours will be open to any who have grant-related needs, questions, or concerns. We will also be offering one-on-one support, which can include personalized emails from our team, one-on-one phone calls, and/or virtual meetings with our team. For example, we've been having one-on-one in-person and virtual meetings with several local communities across Wyoming to help identify their community needs, to identify gaps in their planning process, and also identifying funding opportunities in order for these communities to be able to braid and stack funding sources. We'll also be offering funding opportunity identification, project planning and reviews, needs assessment and planning, general and/or exploratory assistance. You don't know where to begin? You don't know what the next step is? We can help you with that. We will also be providing grant application development and grant management support. We will be assisting you throughout the entire grant lifecycle, from pre-award and planning stage through post-award, including closeout and audit. Securing the grant award and writing the grant award is only 10% of the work. The other 90% is management, compliance, and reporting. We are here to help. For example, in these past 90 days, we have reviewed an agency's operational procedures manual in order to ascertain that that agency's procedures and internal controls are in compliance with federal regulations and guidelines, like the Uniform Guidance 2 CFR 200. We will also be providing resources and templates, stakeholder coordination, and collaboration. If you are uncertain where to begin, please do not hesitate to contact us. Send in a technical request form, email the YGAP team, email Christine or me, or even call us. We are here to help you. Next slide, please. Requesting technical assistance services. Your first step will be to submit a technical assistance request through our website, sbd.wyo.gov/grants. State agencies, local governments, tribal governments and organizations, nonprofits, and small businesses can submit a technical assistance request via the SBD website. Once again, the website is sbd.wyo.gov/grants. TA requests will be accepted on a rolling basis, and you will receive a response to your request via email within 3 to 5 business days. This process is what will initiate the technical assistance. Our team will review your request and respond accordingly. The response may be an answer to your question or concern, and you will be getting a personalized response from one of our team members. The response may also be a request to schedule a meeting to further address your question and concern. These requests are received by the whole YGAP team, which, as we have spoken, is comprised of the Grants Management Integration Manager, the Grants Management Office, and Haggerty Consulting. Your requests will not get lost in a sea of emails and requests. You will receive a response by one of our team members. I want to emphasize that all of our resources and services that our YGAP program is providing are free of charge, and they are available now. You will be receiving personalized service from our team. You will be able to reach out to any of us, and we will provide you the assistance that you need. You are not alone in the grants management process. We are here to help. We are here to shoulder the burden of the grants management life cycle with you. Slide, please. Webinars, office hours, and trainings and more. I had mentioned it earlier, but in order to receive more information on any upcoming and past office hours and other training or networking opportunities, once again, I will refer you to our SBD website, which is sbd.wyo.gov/grants. Not only that, but we also encourage you to save the following dates. July 31st at 10 a.m., we will be having the Local Needs Assessment Survey webinar. We will be speaking more about this on the next slide, but we also encourage you to save August 14th at 10 a.m. We will be having a webinar that is titled Needs Identification, Using Data for Impactful Grant Applications. This will be a great learning opportunity for all, as we will discuss how data sources should be used to demonstrate a community need. But please do not feel limited by the title of the webinar. If you have a pressing question or matter that you would like to discuss, we will also be open for questions as well. I also encourage you all to please continue to check our website, sbd.wyo.gov/grants, as we will be updating this about our upcoming webinars, our office hours, our trainings, and many more resources. Slide, please. I would like to introduce another member of our YGAP team, as he will speak more about this topic, Ben Hecker from the Haggerty team.
Thank you so much, Diana. As Diana said, my name is Ben Hecker. I am the project manager from Haggerty Consulting, the team that is supporting the State Budget Office, the Grants Management Office, in all of the services that have been discussed so far. Haggerty Consulting is honored to have been brought on as a resource to support the Grants Management Initiative. We have built a strong team to support Wyoming communities and are thrilled at the opportunity to help everyone on this call throughout the grants management lifecycle. I do want to take the opportunity to introduce members of the Haggerty Consulting team, because these are the folks who you will be seeing and interacting with long-term here. These are the folks who will support answering those emails and providing that technical assistance. We want to be a partner with you, and as has been mentioned before, we want to be a personal face to support the work that you do in grants management. So in addition to myself, we have Harrison Newton, Michelle Rogers, Eric Yang, and Firuz Niazi. Those are the folks that we have on our team right now. I will say, in addition, our team is prepared to adapt as needed. We want to make sure that this effort has all the resources that you all need to succeed. Speaking to the local needs assessment survey that Diana mentioned, in order to provide the highest level of services specifically for local governments, the Grants Management Office will be conducting what we are calling a needs assessment. The aim of the local needs assessment is to support counties, cities, and towns throughout the state in two areas. Number one, helping identify priorities that could be supported through federal, state, or private sector grants. And number two, identifying any gaps or obstacles that the Grants Management Office can help overcome in order to help you maximize your ability to identify, pursue, and very importantly, to administer grants on the back end. So for those of you who represent a local government who are on the call today, we want to stress the critical importance of engaging with this process. Investing time now will set us up to support you and your communities over the long haul, and in particular, to secure more funding for your needs. In terms of process and what to expect moving forward, this coming Monday, July 15th, our team will be distributing the first of two surveys to local governments. The first survey is designed to help us understand at a very high level funding needs you have already identified that our team can help identify funding sources that could support. The work local governments have already had in place that can serve as the foundation for developing competitive grant applications. For example, plans, assessments, reports, those kinds of things that you've already completed. And thirdly, any barriers or capacity limitations that you have that our team should consider as we move forward to support you. And please know that we are here to support you through this process in completing the survey. And we know that you all have many competing priorities. We want to make sure that you have the resources that you need to engage with this process. As Diana mentioned, we will also be hosting a webinar on July 31st to give local governments more detail about the needs assessment process and to answer any questions you have. But also, as Diana mentioned, please do feel free to reach out to the team at any point with any questions or concerns or feedback that you have. Next slide, please. The next piece I'd like to speak to is the Grants Connect Hub. I want to give you all an overview of this fantastic tool that the Grants Management Office has developed to help you identify potential funding opportunities to support priorities that you have in your communities. We developed this tool, again called the Grants Connect Hub, to provide an easy-to-use one-stop shop for users to find out what grants are available to meet your needs. The first phase of the tool that went live in April on the State Budget Department website focuses on federal funding opportunities from two areas. Firstly, the Inflation Reduction Act, and secondly, the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. As has been mentioned before, these two pieces of legislation have significant investments in them that can help your communities, and they have a short shelf life. And so we wanted to make sure that you have the ability to identify funding opportunities from these two pieces. Since then, we have also added programs from the CHIPS and Science Act, in addition to state agency grant programs, and we will continue to add more programs as we move forward. In particular, we have heard a great amount of interest interacting with local communities in programming in the Health and Human Services area, and we'll be focusing our efforts there in the near term. Next slide, please. This slide gives you a sense of what the tool looks like, and as you can see, as of today, there are over 300 programs available in the tool. We update this tool on a daily basis, and you will see this number continue to grow and expand. If you have subject matter area that you are interested in finding funding sources for, please do let us know so that we can do our grant research and add those opportunities to this tool. If you haven't used the tool yet, please do spend some time with it and let us know if you have any feedback or suggestions, and please reach out if you need assistance using the tool. And with that, I will hand the mic back to Drew for the next part of our presentation.
Okay, thank you. Well done, team. That's a lot of information. So I think at this point in time, we'd like to open up the floor for any questions. So I think Michelle behind the scenes is helping us to identify those questions in the chat. You can also put it in the Q&A section, or you can raise your hand. So Michelle, do we have any questions?
Hi, Drew. Yes, we do have one question that we can start with, specifically about the local needs assessment. An attendee asks, will the local needs assessment be distributed to all local governments, including special districts and joint powers boards and nonprofits?
Thank you. Christine.
Thank you, Drew. This is an excellent question. We will be utilizing the Wyoming Association of Municipalities list to distribute the local needs assessment. If you are not included on that list already, please send us an email to spd-grants@wyo.gov, and we will extend the local needs assessment to you as well, specifically those that would be within a joint powers board or those special hospital districts.
Great. Michelle, do we have any other questions in the chat?
Yes. Someone asks in the chat, does the Grants Management Office or Governor's Office have matching funds for federal grants?
Christine.
Thank you, Drew. Yes, the governor's office does have state infrastructure matching funds that can be utilized to help provide match for these Infrastructure Investment Job Act dollars. Please go to our website that we have provided you information for to learn more information about that. If you have any questions, please send them to the spd-grants@wyo.gov email address, and we will get right on it and provide you an answer the information that you are looking for.
Great. Michelle, I see we have a few questions also in the Q&A, but what is the next question you have for us?
Yes, someone asked in the chat, is there a filter on the Grants Connect Hub tool for small businesses?
Christine.
Yes, there is. You would want to look for the eligible applicants filter and go and select the for-profit entities, which gives an example for businesses.
Great. Any other questions that are running in the chat, Michelle?
Yes, let's look through the chat here. Someone in the chat asks specifically, how do I look for grants that would enhance a senior center's food budget?
Christine?
Yes, this is a great question. We know that our senior citizen centers need assistance, and that is part of our HHS focus, our Health and Human Services focus. If you would please send an email to our spd-grants@wyo.gov email address, we will start a technical assistance request for you, and we will expand our search for some of the grants that may be available to meet your needs.
Great. Other
Awesome.
questions in the chat, Michelle?
Yes, we have a couple questions asking about, is this meeting being recorded, as well as the slideshow? Yes, this webinar is being recorded, and the webinar recording and PowerPoint slides will be available on the State Budget Department website following the webinar. We do have a couple of other questions for you, Drew. Someone asks, can unincorporated areas receive this assistance?
Christine?
Yes, they can. We serve the constituents of Wyoming, local governments, special districts, hospital districts, tribal governments, organizations, small businesses, nonprofits. This is a non-exhaustive list. So please send us an email at spd-wyo.gov, and we will provide the assistance that you are seeking.
Michelle?
Yes, we have several questions in the chat. Please keep putting those in there. These are really great. Someone in the chat asks, will there be support to connect smaller entities such as community-based organizations, small school districts, and small businesses to collaborate and build a consortium to create a better application with a wider reach and larger impact?
That is a goal. Christine.
Yes, absolutely. It is a goal. We understand that these are once in a lifetime dollars. There's one opportunity, and believe it or not, we have not historically pulled down the amount of federal funds that we can through the state of Wyoming. We want to make sure that we collaborate and provide and build a consortium so that we build a better competitive application. And when I say competitive, that means against other states, Montana, South Dakota, North Dakota, Colorado, even East Coast states. We want to make sure that we build and enhance our application so that we are competitive and that we spearhead this initiative.
Thank you, Christine. Michelle, more questions. I see they're coming in.
They are. We do have a question in the chat asking about how to view certain programs within the Grants Connect Hub. This person is providing some input on how they would like to view those grants in the tool. And I just wanted to flag that for the group on potentially adding additional grant opportunities to the Grants Connect Hub. And is that an option?
Okay. Christine, would you like to field that question?
Yes, thank you very much, Drew. If you are able to go to the Grants Connect Hub, there is an option to view this as a grants list. Then you will be able to see who the program is being developed by, and you will have access to the current available information, including the NOFO. If you are not able to find that information, please let us know. We will absolutely sit down with you and make sure that we help you understand how to use the tool. It is no problem at all. We want to provide this type of assistance to everyone that may be able to use the tool. If that information is not there, or you have other suggestions to make on how or what to include in that tool, please let us know.
Thanks, Christine. More questions, Michelle.
Yes, someone asked in the Q&A about, so historically, governmental entities have tapped grants and loans through state agencies. Will this process that we've historically used in obtaining those grants and loans change?
That's a great question. Christine, do you want to answer that?
No, the process will not change. The Grants Management Office is here, and it is no intent of ours to change any process that has already been in place at our state agencies. We are here to support those state agencies in trying to administer and disperse those dollars in a timely manner.
And the goal is to actually help provide the state agencies resources if they need additional capacity. We are here to help them. But this effort with the Grants Management Office will not usurp any state programs that are embedded in the state agencies. Michelle, next question.
Okay, someone asks, who within local governments should complete the local needs assessment survey?
Christine or Diana? Christine?
Oh, yeah, sorry, Drew, I was having trouble with my microphone. We want anyone that has the expertise around grants management or maybe the planning process in your local governments to complete those assessments. I believe that we have also identified earlier in the Q&A session that we are going to distribute this list to the Wyoming Association of Municipalities. That's 99 locals and municipalities. If you are not included on that list, please send us your email address and we will include you and expand you in the scope of this local needs assessment.
And it's also for people who want to learn about the full grant cycle and become engaged. So if you don't know anything about it now, we invite you to go with us and educate yourself so that we have more people out there and more resources long-term. Another question, Michelle.
Sure. Someone in the Q&A asks some specifics about the post-award process. They're asking if it is a part of the scope of this program to help with grants management services and grant administration, such as developing contract language for meeting federal requirements and reporting on grants?
Yes, that is included in the scope of our grants management services. We are here to support all aspects of the grants management lifecycle, from the time that you apply and are secure and are awarded those funds to the time that you close out and there is an audit. Anything in between those, from cradle to grave, we are here to help you support, which includes the administration of your grant.
Thanks, Christine. Other questions?
Someone in the chat asks if there will be a mechanism to report out on the successes from this program, such as case studies on local communities that have been successful in winning grants.
Well, whoever asked that question is reading our mind, because yes, we want to hear success stories. We're excited to implement funding and grants on the ground. Christine, do you want to add to that?
No, not at all. We are developing the metrics so that we can report on our successes, both at the public, and so that the public knows about it, and so that we can track our own success and make sure that we identify any areas or gaps that we can improve upon.
More questions, Michelle?
Yes, we have a couple of questions in the chat asking about who is eligible to receive these services. For example, faith-based nonprofits or irrigation districts.
Christine?
Both of those are eligible people to be provided services by our program. If you are a nonprofit, you are included. If you're an irrigation district, you are also included.
I know some people are saying that this is like too good to be true. So I just want to remind everybody, this is new. It is a customized tool. We are building it as we go. We appreciate your patience with us. We will have some stumbling blocks, but it is our intent to be able to provide all of these services to our communities across Wyoming. Michelle.
Yes, someone asked in the chat for our purposes, what is considered a small business?
Christine.
I do not have the technical language with me, but I know that the Small Business Administration, we are going based off of those definitions and those guidelines. So if your business has less than 500 people, you should be able to qualify. We want to make sure that our small businesses are able to get these available opportunities while they exist. Some of them may come out of the Wyoming Business Council. Some of them may come out of, the Department of Environmental Quality or other areas, workforce services through their internships or apprenticeships. So please send us an email and we will make sure that you receive the assistance that you need.
Thanks, Christine. Michelle.
Yes, someone in the chat asks if there's a calendar showing where in the cycle a grant is, such as their application deadlines.
Christine.
Great question. We answered this before with the filters on the grants and also the grant list view. We also have a calendar view that you can select where it will outline where even the pre-application deadlines are in the term or in the cycle of the grant life cycle. I'm so sorry. Continue though. Thank you.
Thanks. Michelle.
Someone asks in the Q&A, will this program provide training opportunities so that our communities can better understand compliance with specific grants, for example, CDBG?
Christine.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, Drew. Yes, we will be providing webinars on this. We absolutely want to hear what is needed so that we can provide maybe what's called a special focus session outside of our office hours and our regularly scheduled webinars so that we can speak to these items. And then what we can also do is pull in the stakeholders or the program managers from those state agencies to help develop some of the training material for those items.
And I think in addition to that, many of you on the call have been to the Wyoming Funding Summit, either last June or in April. We do intend to continue on with those at this time. We've also identified that there may be a need within that year, that time period, that maybe we have a regionalized, smaller type summit to focus on regional issues. We are open to any and all ideas. As we said, we're building this as we go. So we will adjust as we receive your feedback and understand what your resource needs are. Michelle.
Yes, someone asks, will the Grants Management Office also support Wyoming's community colleges?
The answer is yes, we will do this through the Wyoming Community College Commission.
Others, Michelle?
I think we've answered all of the questions.
Okay. So are there any other questions from the audience, or are there, I don't see any hands raised, at least on my screen. Do you see that? Any hands, Michelle?
Yes, I do see one person with their hand raised. Kristen Shaw. I'm
Okay.
going to allow Kristen to talk.
Great. Kristen. You are on mute. If you're talking to us, you're on mute. There you go. We cannot hear you, Kristen, if you're talking. Okay, we'll come back to you, or Kristen, if you could put your question in the chat. We cannot hear you. Michelle, do we have other questions that I see might have come in?
Yes, someone asked a great question. If we already have someone that writes our grants, can YGAP still assist with the process moving forward from there?
Christine.
Yes, we absolutely are able to assist any grant writer that is in the county or the local government. We understand that even if you have a grant writer, they may need assistance whenever it comes to a quality assurance review of their application. We want to make sure that we have those resources in place for those individuals that need them. So absolutely, if you already have a county grant writer or a local government grant writer housed within your local government, please use this resource as a quality assurance review. We want to make sure that you speak to and include all of the details that you need to make sure that you have an eligible application before you submit it to the federal government or before you submit it to one of our state departments.
Thanks, Christine. Michelle, I think I saw a couple more come through.
Yes, I believe both of these questions were related to the local needs assessment survey that will be sent out next week. Someone asked if it's possible to include the Wyoming Association of Special Districts to that email list to be included. And someone also asks if we have considered including counties in the local needs assessment survey.
I think the answer is yes to both, but Christine.
Yeah, yes. So the 99 local and municipality governments, those are inclusive of our county governments as well. So the local needs assessment will be distributed to them. I also see that there was a question or asked if it was possible to include the Wyoming Association of Special Districts email list. If you could please forward us where that information is or provide that list to us, we will make sure that we send out that local needs assessment.
Thank you. Any additional questions, Michelle?
Yes, someone in the chat asked, how much time does the YGAP team need to do a QA review of a grant application?
Good question. Christine. Ideally, Christine.
Ideally, we would like it as soon as possible, or if you're working through it and can provide us a draft, that is always a best practice. It will be very difficult to do things at the last minute, I would say. We understand that, you want to take as much time as you can to develop those applications, but if you keep us included in that process, we can help provide the assistance where it may be needed, and it will help facilitate a more streamlined review of that application.
Thank you. We have about 12 more minutes. Do we have more questions that we can answer, Michelle?
Yes, I think some folks are asking about the distribution list in the chat. And don't worry, if you are on this webinar, we will add you to our email list as well. Someone asked in the chat, I'm not sure what this is in reference to, but they are asking that we mentioned a policy early on. Could we expand on that policy?
I'm not sure that's coming to mind. Christine, Diana?
That's not coming to mind either. Oh, Diana has her hand raised. Go right ahead.
Could it have been possibly the federal regulations that we have to follow, the 2 CFR 200, the uniform guidance? These are federal regulations that have been put together that you have to follow when you have been awarded federal funding. So it's a list of things that tell you how to manage the grant and the type of expenditures and how to account for those expenditures. And it's basically kind of like a set of rules that you have to follow for all of those federal funding. We will also be having trainings on those type of things in the future. So please stay tuned to our website. We will be having some resources on it, and we will be talking about that more in depth because it is very interesting. It helps with compliance and internal controls and everything. And it is very important for everybody to be in the know of these guidance and regulations.
Thank you, Diana. You saved us. We have a perfect record for answering all the questions so far. So you saved us on that one. Thank you. Michelle.
Yes, we do have a few more questions. So someone asks, what do I need to have before I start a request for technical assistance with YGAP?
Christine?
I would say that you don't have to have anything readily available, but it helps to have background detail on what you may be requesting a technical assistance for. So for instance, if a tree were going to fall on your library, if you could provide location details around that, any type of planning documents that you already have in place at the local government level, that is extremely helpful to us. Also, if you are trying to apply or get a hold of somebody for the intended use plan, what is your previous master plan? Have you worked with the Water Development Office or the Wyoming Water Development Commission? Have you previously worked with the Office of State Lands and Investments, or even say the Wyoming Business Council? That is all information that we have that is all information that we find very helpful to help triage some of these technical assistance requests.
Great. More questions I see.
Yes, someone asks in the Q&A about how state agencies will be expected to use these resources. For example, will the Grants Management Office ask state agencies to use the same resources or tools, or use the same portal for subrecipient monitoring?
Christine.
We do not have a portal established for subrecipient monitoring. However, if you need assistance with setting up those procedures and putting them into place and implementing them before you start sending out your money, please let us know, because that is something that we can help. Through the American Rescue Plan Act, we have developed a subrecipient risk assessment matrix that we can easily hand off to another state agency that they can maybe implement at their own grant programs, or they can help develop a more comprehensive risk assessment. Those are things that need to be in place. Subrecipient monitoring is a very, very serious thing, and you need to show that you are doing your due diligence when it comes to assessing the risk of your subrecipient, and then following up and making sure that those audit and those compliance procedures are in place, and that they are also in compliance with the provisions of that federal grant.
Thanks, Christine. Michelle.
Yeah, we have several questions still. Someone asks, for YGAP, will the YGAP team assist with a review of both federal grant applications as well as Wyoming state grant applications?
The answer is absolutely. Absolutely.
Next question.
Someone asks if there is going to be a policies and procedures template or example available to help communities implement within our organizations.
Christine.
We would be interested to know in what policy and procedures you are looking to put into place, and if they would be for maybe say your budget or your budget within your organization, or if it is more directed towards the administration of federal programs. If you could please send us an email to the spd-grants@wyo.gov email address, we will log this as a technical assistance request and provide you the assistance that you need.
Michelle, they keep coming in. This is good.
Yes. Someone in the chat asks if there will be help for tax exempt revenue bonds.
Christine.
I think that that is a new topic to us, and we would like the ability to be able to look more in depth about that and provide you a very good answer on that.
Christine, you may just take a quick moment to discuss our relationship with Clifton Larson Allen.
Yes, so the State Budget Department Grants Management Office, we are very, very well positioned. We are the administrating agency for the American Rescue Plan Act funds, and we hired on Clifton Larson Allen back in November of 2021 to help administer those dollars and conduct eligibility reviews for the applications that all of our state departments were receiving in for their appropriated uses of those funds. Clifton Larson Allen they are auditors at heart. They know the IRS tax code regulations like the back of their hand. And when it comes to IRA tax discussions, they are able to discuss in detail what those regulations do and how they affect Wyoming as at the local government level. If you need assistance with those types of items or more discussion on the regulations behind the IRA tax credits, please let us know, because we will pull Clifton Larson Allen in to be able to discuss this in detail.
Thanks, Christine. I think that was an important point for people to know. We've got just a few minutes left. Michelle, do we have any lingering questions?
Yes, someone in the chat asks if the Grants Management Office will be able to help their opioid settlement county group set up a system for monitoring and distribution of funds, as well as documentation and reporting.
Christine.
Yes, we can absolutely help with that. And we do know that there is not a lot of information about that, but we can do research on the back end to make sure that you are compliant with those opioid settlement funds.
I think we've got time for a couple more, Michelle, if we have them.
Yes. Someone asks, what if my city or county has a need that we don't believe fits with the funding streams that we've heard about today or can find on the Grants Connect Hub?
Great question. Christine.
Great. That is a great question. We will expand the scope of our research to help see if there are available opportunities out there that may not be listed on the Grants Connect Hub yet.
And I think the other important thing to note is we do have a relationship with our federal partners through the Interagency Working Group, and they are also a resource for us to explore if there are different opportunities within their specific federal agencies. Michelle, more questions?
Yes, I think we have one last question, which I think is a great end.
Great.
How long will this program be active?
Christine.
The State Budget Department submitted an exception request for our 25-26 biennial budget. That is effective for the Grants Management Office at least through June 30th of 2026 in accordance with the budget.
And I think that, thank you, Christine. And I think that the other important thing is if this resource is needed and you demonstrate that you're using it and it's working, I think that that makes a great case for looking at the program beyond 2026. So I think with that, one additional question. Was there one additional question, Michelle?
That's
No.
me, Drew.
Okay. This is why we have you, Michelle. So I think we're going to, in conclusion, again, thank you for your time today. We will post this presentation and the recording on our website. Please remember, this is new, it's customized. We're building it as we go based on your feedback and your resource needs. Please continue to be patient as it is a work in progress, but the program will be as effective as we all make it together. The governor and our team sincerely appreciate your time this morning, and we look forward to hearing from you and working with you on your individual projects in your communities across our state. Let's continue to make Wyoming even greater and our communities stronger and more vibrant. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.